loud, am I? So I don't need to 1 2 1 2. Just 1 2 1 2, nice and steady. Check check 1 2 1 2. Nice kilobytes rolling. Nice kilobytes. Can I hear you? 1 2. Nice kilobytes rolling. Yes, you can hear me. I can hear you. That's lovely. We've got the nice kilobytes rolling. We are Mental Health Monday. I've got a cup of tea. Nice cup of tea. Nice, sort of big cup. Big cup of tea. I've got a big cup of tea. I hope you've got a drink and a snack, like Isaac Arthur always suggests. If you watch Isaac Arthur. As soon as we started, my nose tickling. It's like, thought to myself, I hope I don't get that tickly nose today. Tickly nose now. It's tickling on the end. So the fairy's tickling my nose. Got that 5 minutes early. Make sure we've got it all working. It's working. So, not herky-jerking, working. Let me work it. Put your thumb down, flip it and reverse it. This is Mental Health Monday. I'm not going to do the introduction till 8 o'clock. So you don't get that till 8 o'clock. Where's my box? This is what you get. I'm all prepared. For a nice, cheeky, hopefully this week. I'm going to say all the rubbish beforehand now. So hopefully this week will be nice and succinct. Of course, if you've got mental health, I'll do that after. I'll do that after the introduction. The other thing I wanted to say. All of a sudden my brain's popping off with all the things you want to say that you don't want to. Yeah, I was going to try and make today an hour, a nice clean hour, because for the edit, we've done a really, really good game this week. We had a game, didn't we? We played, look, that's Mental Health Monday, that's our YouTube channel, but we've also got another one, and it's called Ganji Cuts, isn't it? Or let's just do Ganji Kid and it'll bring up the YouTube, won't it? There I am, Ganji Kid YouTube. Got this channel, and this is us, isn't it? Everything that we do on the internet gets put up on Ganji Kid as video archive. So that's this stream uploaded there. You get it a couple of days late because of Twitch's rules about, because I'm an affiliate. But it all gets uploaded there, and then it's all uncut. And sometimes the sound is out of sync for some reason. We try and fix it, whatever. It's all there though, as the stream archive. But if you wanted to watch the edits, which what I do is sometimes when something's good, I'll edit it into a nice video. Ganji Cuts, you can see that at the bottom there. Ganji Cuts. We've also got Ganji Art Chat, Ganji Kid Art Chat, which is edits for art context. So this week we played a game called Paratropic. It was brilliant. Look, you can see that there. Just it's only a little. Let me go on web browser. Hiya, Nigel. A lot more Navin talk. Do you know what? I haven't written a lot in my script. I haven't got very deeply personal in my script about Navin talk. What I was going to do is I was going to edit the animals that we've got of today into the video to make the actual edit more fun, but I'm not going to get them on camera now, and God forbid if Navin was still here, I would try and pick him up and put him on the camera. It just turned into a problem with my hand, but yeah, we may do. I'm doing all my chuffing at the start, just doing my little chuffing bit. We've got these other channels and the reason I'm doing my chuffing is because this week we played Paratropic, friendo, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really, really good game. Unfortunately, a couple of little issues. One little issue is for the first sort of 5 minutes of the stream, there was a little buzzy static because of my capture card. I fixed it after 5 minutes, but if you watch that video, for the first 5 minutes, you'll be like, oh, this is bad, all this static on this game, and then it'll put you off. So hopefully in the edit, I make you aware of that, but just, it's going to be a 40-minute edit, that little bit at the start, it's annoying, but it was a really good game, so that was my fault. And then the other thing that happened is that I want to do an edit for Ganji Cuts, which is just like the fun edit of the game, and then also I went on and on about all this art stuff during the game that I was really enthused and pleased about, the art style, the influences, all that sort of stuff. So for that, I'm doing an edit for Ganji Kid Art Chat. Fine, that's normal. It's just a 3-hour video. I'll just chuff out 2 separate edits at the same time. So you know what I'm like. So that I'm halfway through it. I would have finished it if it was only one video this weekend, but I'm halfway through it. So I'd like more time on that edit and not to have to do a huge long Mental Health Monday edit this week. So for pets, I've got my script. I've got our web pages. We're going to have a little look at them. We're going to have a look. They're coming up. Look, that's a doggy. That's a doggy. We've got web pages and all that. We've got our script, and we're going to sort of do it. So I'm trying to get the chuffing out of my system now. Official Mental Health Monday at 8 o'clock, isn't it? So officially, I'm not here yet. So I get all the chuffing out now, and then we'll get to Mental Health Monday. So, and of course, I'm quite happy to have all your chuffing, you know, any chuffing you want to throw in. If it ends up being a 2-hour broadcast, if it ends up being a 5-hour broadcast, then whatever, it just ends up being that. And we just have to make the edits take longer. Here's something new. They delivered a small part. They haven't delivered the table by September the 15th, they say. By September the 15th. They haven't delivered the chairs. So they're just teasing me now. Did you hear that? They're teasing me now. They delivered just the thing. I can't. It's not fair. I want to play with it and I'm not allowed to. They delivered this. Look. It's going to go on the table, isn't it? And it's going to hold the old microphones. You recognise these things from the old Joe Rogan. I got them in white because I thought it just looked nice. They're not very expensive. They do another step up from this that doesn't have these springs on it, like another step up. But I thought we'd just go with the cheap ones to start with. Just get it, you know, get it going. And you can put your microphones on that. It's got a little mic holder, but we've got little pencil mics that will go in that mic holder already, so that's cool. And we've got our own little mic holders that are in another room that are I don't have to they're in another room in a little they're in the box that these came in. But I never use them because I put those in the dummy head. But we've got those as well, so they're going to get set up when the table arrives, just over there. Another step forward. I'm very pleased. I've already done my thank yous about that this week and last week, but since they arrived, I just wanted to get it out of the box and show you as part of this chuffing that goes on at the start. Right, officially we're on Mental Health Monday. So let's just put that down over there. Oh, watch out. Nearly just drop that. Don't you want to drop that? Right, so calm down. Right, hi Snippy Snips. We're all here. That's just a microphone boom arm. We've got 2 of them. It's going to be great. So, hi. I'll do this because it'll easy for the edit. Easy. Hi, you're with Scott. It's Mental Health Monday. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear because this is mono. It's actually 8 p.m. GMT because Mental Health Monday is always at 8 p.m. GMT. So, you know, work that out. Then it'll go, brought to you by patrons. Thank you very much. And so here we are. We're doing pets. Before we do that, the first thing I always say every week, if you're feeling at crisis point, here is the Samaritans in the UK, 116123, free phone. You can call them. If you are feeling the similar crisis point, but you're in America, we've got 1-800-273-8255. I'm going to do some chuffing at 12 at midnight Pacific time. It might be midnight, it might be 12 in the daytime, the midnight of the day. So we are here. And if I'm doing the chuffing and laughing and you're like, oh, this is Mental Health Monday and I've come here and like I feel like I need support, you can write in the comments, hi, I've got a problem. We can divert to your thing anytime, no problem. Interesting questions come up, absolutely happy with that. I'm going to talk about pets today. It's going to be a little bit jolly. But if you have got, you know, serious anything, the tone is wrong here, then tell us in chat or call one of these numbers for direct support immediate. There you go. Because today's chuffing. A nice neat chuffing, like I said. I've got loads to edit, so we're going to nicely, neatly chuff along for about an hour and a half. And say some interesting things about pets. Right, I've got dog depression later on. You'll be interested in that. It's not just for you, it's for your dog as well today. And we've got dog thing, pets thing, mental health, choosing a pet. We've got that. And we are Mental Health Monday. So where's my little script? In this video, we will look at pets with regard to mental health, why they're good for you, how to be responsible when choosing pets, and considering getting a pet. We'll talk a little about... I've already started on that now. We'll talk a little about how there are some negatives, cons, I've written in brackets, cons, like pros and cons. Don't want to get you confused with criminals that cons, they call them cons, don't they? Anyway, look. And what to do when you think you may be getting overwhelmed. Oh, so that doesn't work as a little end of a sentence on its own, so now I'll say it again. We'll talk a little bit about how there are some negatives and what to do when you think you may be getting overwhelmed. We'll also look at other ways to engage with animals that's positive for your mental health, but does not require the full commitment of ownership. There you go. Look, that's my first look at that. That's my first little. Well, when I say negatives, yeah, there might be. I don't want to make it. As you'll come on and see, I'm going to just raise some concerns that I might. I don't want to be here being like, oh, get a fish and get a cat and put them in the same cage and you'll be fine. And like, what the hey? I want to just bring up some, responsibility edge thing, and also because we're in the context of mental health, as we'll see, or I'll just bring up later, there might be some aspects of pet ownership that might be difficult for some people who are suffering with mental health issues, that they might not, I don't know, maybe the cat gets you up all night like my cat. Maybe it does. So we'll come on to that in a minute. But first, I've written in the script call to action. I'm actually going to do it this week. But first, look, here is Mental Health Monday. It's our channel, web browser. Look at how big it is now. It's got 10 subscribers. I'm pleased with that. It's got a new video, Ghostbox, Talkbox, or Psychosis, because we talked about that the other week, and now I've edited it. Bam! It's got little videos that I try and cut, and it's got the long, full-length, like podcasty. We're going to get a full podcast in this room. It's podcasty style. What we're doing now. you know the score. You're here. But so yeah, subscribe to that. Watch the videos over there. Even if you've watched them here and been here, watch them over there twice. That's the rules. I'm just going to try and move this so I can see all of your chat. There you go. There we go. I'll just make it bigger like that. Yay. So that's that. And we've also got Ganji Kid, which is where we dump the full stream, full video archive. Under the bottom there, you can see Ganji Cuts, edits, Ganji Art Chat, edits. That's us, Mental Health Monday. Battery Exhausted, it's going a bit funny there. True Binaural ASMR, we all know what that is. Don't even pretend you don't know anymore. It's been on the news. So that's my shilling. Go and subscribe to that. Go and watch it, but don't stay here. We are now on Mental Health Monday. So, animals are not objects. Oh, he's not, is he? He's not, is he? He's a vegan. Look, he made this vegan vlog. Just going to play this without any sound while I talk, because it's nice pictures. And later we'll come and look at how to, support things like this. But look, I've written some script, and here comes the reading. You'll enjoy it. First a note, because I'm a vegan, and I have to do this because I'm a vegan, and we're going to talk about animals, so I've got to do this. Animals are not objects. We should not enslave them, imprison them, and exploit them. We should not breed them for profit, in my opinion. There are some animals that are obviously wild and untamed, and I kind of think they should remain so. The only argument for a zoo is for conservation these days, because while I get great pleasure from visiting and seeing wild exotic animals at the zoo, maybe the animals don't get the same pleasure from being a captive on display. So I guess it's not on anymore. And we can see these animals in their natural habitat on film or in safaris. So we're lucky now these days we've got that. So conservation, yes. This one, these aren't zoo animals, but, these are poor farm animals that don't have to do any poor farming anymore. Yeah, conservation, all that sort of stuff, things that are going extinct. I get it. But, in general, bit bad on the old vegan side. I keep doing Some animals are not natural and not wild. We shaped their evolution through selective breeding. There are the kind that we farmed, exploited, killed, and ate. Yeah, there's those kinds. And then there's another very small There's another very small group of species that we kept at home, initially as working animals, pest controllers, guards, and hunting tools. Eventually simply as ornaments or for sentimental reasons, and now family members, aren't they? They're family members now, so got that in. The full vegan ideal, long term, is we kind of end this chaotic, barbaric manipulation of the natural world. We don't breed any more animals like ourselves and manipulate them. Cool. You can have a look at Rick and Morty for that as well. There's a really good Rick and Morty episode which I've written in my script and I haven't done the research to find out which episode it is. Oh, look at me there. I look tired and I've got a beard. In the Rick and Morty episode, there's the one with Snuggles, and they put the thing on his head, and it makes him intelligent. The dog, Snuffles, Snowball, I don't know. Anyway, they put the thing, and it makes him intelligent, and then he starts asking questions. And one of the questions he asks is, "Why did you selectively breed me like this? Would you think it's funny if dogs bred humans with little stumpy legs and funny faces, or would you think it was an abomination unto nature?" So that was an interesting question that I'm not going to answer. However, there are priorities, because this is why I'm not going to answer that question. There are priorities, and there are some longer term and shorter term problems. So clearly with veganism, the bigger priorities are these farm animals, the ones that we're killing and eating, those sort of things, and encouraging more people to make responsible vegan choices. And then in the longer term, we will have this knock-on effect of, once we've dealt with all the bigger problems. And of course, as a vegan, I also advocate for human problems, because we're animals too. So stopping children from being hungry probably goes above my priorities in most things. People suffering around the world, like people suffering, are quite high on my priorities. So we get these things, worked out in order. And once we get down to once we've done these bigger things, we'll kind of see that maybe, the animal ownership, the questions about that, they'll come into closer focus. It'll be easier for us to deal with them. Right now, in the short term, in our lifetimes, we're probably not going to get to, should we deal with the, pet ownership issue of veganism. We're probably not going to get there. We're probably going to have a big struggle just helping the people first, and then the farm animals and the world entire. So don't worry too much about that in that aspect, I think, and I'm the king of veganism, so you have to do what I say when it comes to it. There's some wonderful tippies. Look at that. That's like mega tippies. I'm not very good with the old numbers, but that is a bigger number than we've ever had before, isn't it? It's like a bigger number than ever before. 100,000. 100 grand in tippies. And I should do it. Johnny Depp says thank you, but he wouldn't thank you. He'd just take him and run. So yeah, Johnny Depp popped out for that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do. I'm still going to rock on with the script though, and I've done a whole video about thank yous this week, and we've got items that we're going to be setting up when they arrive. So there'll be more thank yous coming. Just deep down how quite blown away I am by that. Actually, it's stopped me in my flow. So I'm quite blown away by it. Where's me? Where's my script? The unhappy grey area that I advocate for. The unhappy grey area that I advocate. The unhappy grey area that I advocate for as a vegan is to promote the idea we should end breeding and exploitation whilst actively dealing with the suffering of the existing animals. That's the general area I fall in. Is let's end the suffering, stop the breeding and the exploitation, and help the animals that we've got. And I think in our lifetime, that'll be, as much as we can do. So what that means, bottom line, is don't shop, adopt. I've got that here somewhere. Haven't I? Dog depression, choosing an animal. A dog is for life I've got. Oh, I had dog, don't shop, adopt, didn't I? I thought I got it up earlier. I'm just foolish. I don't know what I do these days. What this means... Oh, you want to be me in my head. Let's big face this. So I tried to read my script and it said what this means. But I read, what this means? Why would I confuse myself by questioning my own what in my script? You what? I didn't write that. You what, mate? No, this means. What this means, bottom line is, don't shop, adopt. And then the edit will have a thing. Oh yeah, I should tell you as well what I'm going to do this week, because I'm committed to this now. I've already said it once earlier to Nigel. What we're going to do this week is I'm going to get the camera, I'm going to video the animals, my pets, the existing ones, the ones, try and share the joy and not wallow in the sorrow so much this week. We were going to talk about naming stories. Nigel suggested maybe we won't, maybe we'll try and celebrate the joy. So I'm going to take the camera on a doggy walk as well and try and show you the doggy chasing a deer or a Mr. Rabbit or something, try and show you some of the joy. So we don't get it today, we get the vegan fare, but in the next when you watch it on the second time round on the YouTube, you'll get the animals in it as well. So that'll be nice, won't it? And it doesn't count as exploitation because I'm not even going to pay them. Right. So we can, as vegans, own pets. Own. You got to do that. Own. You know, you keep them on the straight and narrow. You don't want them running off, but at the same time, you want them to have some agency and feeling of self-worth and joy. You know, we're not here to own them and keep them in a little box and bully them, are we? They're members of the family is a better way to describe it. Like a child that will never grow up. Feeding is an issue. I believe most of the pet food is made from the byproduct of the animal farming industry, so we're essentially consuming the waste rather than creating demand for more slaughter. I really hope that's a quick note on feeding your pets. We've talked about it before, so I'm not going to alight on it too much because it's a vegan point, not a mental health point. So with all that said, I think pet ownership, whilst a minefield of ethics for a vegan, or the king of the vegans, is very good for your mental health. So thumbs up to pet ownership in general, even though it's a vegan thumb, and you're going to be like, oh, you can't say that because you're a vegan. Well, I did, and now that's that. Call to action. I've written it. You don't tell them you're doing the call to action. You just do the call to action. I've written it, so I've said it. What's your favourite animal? Call to action. This is a simple one. What's your favourite animal? Tweet me at informal. I'll write it on the screen for the video. There's a call to action. You can put it on the comment here. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because it's just one of those little call to actions that the people do. Just me and Jake Paul, we're in it together now. Look, call to action. Pets, how they help our mental health. Right, boom. We can move on to the next slide. Next slide, please. This is more reading. What if I can't have a pet? That's the bottom. Look, start at the top, mate. Start at the top. Look at Happy Harry here. Look at Happy Harry here. Where's the web browser? Look at Happy Harry here. No, he only got his teeth in. Happy Harry here. Look at him. He's got his little chuffer on his shoulder. Look at that. Look at that. You think you'd do that with a parrot, wouldn't you? No, got myself a Jack Russell, mate. Polly, the Jack Russell, up there on his shoulder. Looks like Harry Hill. If Harry Hill got, when Harry Hill gets old. Looks like Harry Hill. Nice fleece as well. Nice fleece. You want to keep warm, don't you? While you're out there spraying your graffiti on the graffiti wall. So photographers always take you to a graffiti wall, don't they? Graffiti wall. That's their favourite backdrop, isn't it? If you're in a band, graffiti wall, graffiti in the background there. These photographers got the job of shooting he's shooting for the Mental Health Foundation. Maybe it's just stock footage. I don't know. Don't know where they got it from. Maybe they booked. Maybe Happy Harry here. Harry Hill, really old Harry Hill here. Maybe Happy Harry Hill here. Maybe we need someone with a dog for a photo. Oh, we've got just the person. Do you need to do any tricks? No, we don't need any tricks. It's for mental health. Well, he does going on your shoulder. He does, don't worry, we don't need any tricks. I'll just put you down for going on your shoulder. No, we don't need, it's already, okay. We're paying for going on your shoulder now. Well, it might cheer people up. All right, fair enough. Let's have going on your shoulder. And then he turns up you get, way. You're not Happy Harry. So there, look, I've already gone on chuffing. I'm not supposed to be doing this. Oh no. Oh, the edit. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm chuffing. Look, pets and mental health. How can a pet help my mental health? Caring for a pet can help our mental health in many ways, including, but not limited to, increasing your physical activity. We've got it over here as well. What's having a dog done for me? We're going to go over it twice. So this is the bullet points, and we're going to get into it deeper. Increasing your physical activity. Dog owners are likely to take their pet out every day for a walk or run or come back here. A chase. No. Fenton. Dog owners are likely to take their pet out every day. Yes, this is true. It's both a pro and a con, as we'll come to later. It's a very good pro, though. This can be a fun way to fit exercise into your routine. And additionally to that, although it doesn't say it here, oh no, it does at the bottom, adding structure, but I'm going to say it here at the start as well. They've mentioned routine. For me, it means some days I have to get up and go out, otherwise the dog's going to do a poo on the floor. I have to get up out of bed. I can't be like, oh, I'm lying in bed all day today, chuff it. I have to. And then quite often, every days, is that I have to go, I don't have to go out into the countryside, but I choose to, and it's really nice for me. So it's given me this really good routine. After every Mental Health Monday, we have to walk the doggy, don't we? Not as much as this pet stream is worth to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you know what? I never look up how much they're worth. I just, at the end of the month, when it comes in, I'm like, because I don't look at it until it comes in, because until it's actually in, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, sort of thing. Not vegan to count chickens or hatch them. Oh, hatching them might be. Anyway, look, I wait till it comes in, and then it comes in, and it's like, wow, this is like more than I could have ever imagined every month. So I'm just pleased that it you know, for me, that's amazing. And I then consider everyone. I think, wow, think of all the people that have, you know, contributed to this. I'm so blessed. That's what I think. So I don't count that, but I mean, I know it's big. Like, I know it's big in my world, so I just know that. So I don't go and research it. But at the end of the month, we see, and it's like, yeah, stop talking about it. Yeah, look, you know, don't embarrass me. Oh, look, oh, you're embarrassing me. You just stop. You know, look, yeah, I've got to edit it, haven't I? Look, sorry, yeah. You put people off. Dog owners are likely to take their pet out, and the routine is fantastic. After Mental Health Monday, I'm going to take him for his walkie. It gives me a little bit of mental break from whatever I'm doing, as well as physical exercise and that regular routine. You know, you're living the life. It's something that you find quite difficult when you've got mental health. You know, I think most of the mental health things break up a routine quite quickly, don't they? You want to stay in bed, you're not so sure about, you're feeling a bit down, maybe I'm not going to bother. Well, you're going to bother, day or night, wind come or shine, you're going to be out there picking up those poopies. Providing companionship. Pets can give you a sense of security and someone to share the day with. Caring for them can help you feel wanted and needed. This can be especially valuable for older people or those who live alone. Right, you're going to see something now that's going to blow your mind, and it's just a little diversion. I told you I'm not going to do diversions, but I'm absolutely going to do a diversion because this blew my mind the other day. Right, big face. I'm turning off the browser for a second while I look this up on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I'll get this. I mean, this probably comes under the guise of Mental Health Monday. Yep, here it is. Okay, and we can turn this. I'm not showing you any of my Amazon details, am I? I'm not going to show you my credit card details or anything by mistake. No. Okay, let's turn on the WebBubba browser. I don't have a credit card. So, here is the Amazon, and what you're seeing here in the WebBubba browser, look at that. That's a cat, but it's not a cat. Okay, it's not a cat. It's a pretend cat, and they give it to people with dementia, and it meows, and it does like moving, and look, they've got a little doggy there as well. It's mainly the cats that they're known for. £100. It's like £100. It's really expensive, but people don't really mind when they're buying things for people that are suffering, do they? They spend the money. But I do think you could probably get a similar sort of toy cat that meows without the huge price tag, that maybe isn't designed for a dementia patient, that maybe is just a toy cat. So maybe there's a incongruence in the price here somehow. But yeah, exactly. A stuffed toy works as well. Snippy Snips knows her stuff. So, but this one is the Rolls Royce of stuffed toys. This one is the Ferrari, the Lamborghini of dementia pets. It brings laughter and smiles to it's robotic. It's called robotic. So robotic cat. Joy for all. £100, really expensive. But yeah, so isn't that amazing? I mean, I'm not dissing it and taking the mick. I think it's quite expensive. But as a concept, isn't that amazing? Because what we've said is, for older people or those who live alone, well, there's another aspect to mental health that we don't really cover a lot on Mental Health Monday that we really should do one of these days, which is, you know, as you get older, your mental health can deteriorate for other reasons like dementia, and this can be really comforting for people like that. So not a real animal, but even just the concept. You know, a baby doll they think is a baby. Wow, that would scare me. I don't know what I'd feel like if I had dementia, but, you know, the worry of having to look after a real baby. Oh, sorry about that on the microphone. That was a cup of tea. But yeah, so the concept is real. It really works. We like that. Can I get the web browser to move so you can see it better? That's better. So it's valuable for older people or those who live alone and feeling wanted, needed, a sense of security, someone to share the day with. This is companionship, isn't it? And it's provided by a pet. So I think that's a really good concept. I think it's really good. And it's surprising, isn't it, that not a human, and we didn't go over this a lot in the vegan bit at the start, whether an animal is sentient or not. Of course, I believe they are sentient. They have their own thoughts, drives and desires, their own characters. And of course, that's why the companionship thing works, because they respond to us, and, you know, sometimes they talk back, you know. I don't know. Yeah. Companionship. Reducing anxiety. The companionship of a pet can help to ease your anxiety. Good. I'm not going to go over that heavily. We've got actual episodes on anxiety, but I'm sure there are lots of ways where having a pet around does make you feel more calm. Boosting self-confidence. Hang on, I'm just going to read what you said. I know a disabled lady who regularly visits our local cat cafe because she's unable to have a cat in her apartment. That's nice. It's not vegan though, they shouldn't be exploiting them. Do they pay those cats? Grey area, I suppose. Grey area. If you've got a cafe and you've got some cats, why not have, you know, why not house as many cats from the rescue as you can? A good concept. Nigel's questioning what they do is, like I just explained, you got a cafe and you it's, let me do big face. The original concept came from Japan, I believe. For that exact reason that Snippy Snips was saying, that for companionship. But yeah, it's caught on in a big way with the charities and the animal welfare charities, because if you own a cafe, why not fill it with cats? It means that you've got nice cats and you can home some more cats. So that's probably good. On the negative, if you don't want to home cats, you weren't thinking about it, and you're going to breed and buy, and, you know, if you were not running a cafe for any reason and you decided just to buy a load of cats, yeah, shelter kitties, 100% with thumbs up. But someone who wants to set up a business and wants to just, you know, we'll have goldfish tanks and we'll have cats as objects for decoration. You know, not that concept that bad. So there's a couple of ideas that are joggled up in the air, and where the balls fall, like we said at the start of this episode, is it's generally good. It's generally good. There are some bad examples out there, but generally it's good. So yeah, I like that cat cafe. As long as they're responsibly, you know, supporting a shelter and charity and rehoming the kitties. Because, yeah, you can have loads of cats in the cafe, and cats don't mind, do they? They go around. The only thing I'm confused about it is, I'm sure if I was on the... you know, you have to do a food standards, you know, your dirty kitchen, clean kitchen award, and, you know, 4 gold stars, 5 gold stars, excellent, don't want to eat in a dirty kitchen, or the hygiene man comes around, does an inspection. If I had loads of cats running around, I'd be like, you keep these cats out of the kitchen. I tell you, if I was the chef, I'd be like, you keep these chuffers out of the kitchen. Oh yeah, cat cafe. Yeah, no, they're generally good. They're generally good. Right, here we go. And it's also good to be able to interact with a pet like that. You know, young people who can't have older people who can't have their own pets. It's also good for them to be able to go and we're going to come to that at the end. That's the end, is other ways to engage with the animals that aren't owning them. Okay, I'm going back to the web browser, and I'm going little in the corner. They help you. Boosting self-confidence. Pets can be great listeners, offer unconditional love, and won't criticise you. I got a dog that bit me a few times, but generally he did love me, genuinely. This can help your self-confidence, especially if you feel isolated or misunderstood. You know, that's so powerful, that's so powerful. 2 points here rolled into one. Pets can be great listeners. An old fella once told me while I was walking my dog, he said, do you talk to your dog? And I said, absolutely, I talk to my dog. And he said, do you tell it your problems? And I said, I guess, I don't know. And he said, if you tell it your problems, you'll never tell anyone else. You'll always keep your secrets. I thought, fair enough. I wonder what weird secrets you've got. Let's ask your dog. But I couldn't get any information out of his dog, so I had to leave it. But yeah, like talking to people, like I'm doing now. I'm in an empty room, really, in the real world. But in the real world, you're in your room listening to me through the magic. But, you know, talking to someone, getting the voices out of your body into the world. The voices. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Putting voice to your thoughts, even if it's to your animals, creating that dialogue. They do sometimes talk back. Yeah, it's really good for you. They offer unconditional love and won't criticise you is a separate point rolled into this, which is a really important one, is that your animals see your pure heart. You know, they know you're kind, you treat them well, if you treat them well. The animals see your pure heart. So where the rest of the world, the people, you might get into difficulties, certainly with mental health, you can have problems engaging with people sometimes. It's something we want to work on. At no point is your dog going to say, yeah, I'm not talking to you today. If you're kind to your dog's kind to you. If you're kind to your cat's kind to you. They see your pure heart. They offer you unconditional love and won't criticise you. That even counts for fish. They help you to meet new people. What? Oh, yeah, you're right. Wait, your cats do criticise you. And me. Yeah, my cats do. But it's not... yeah, okay, maybe cats is not unconditional. Maybe it's not unconditional. I don't know. Yeah, she does love me, really. She just wakes me up at 4 a.m. to make sure that food bowl is full. You're not feeding me enough. You're not letting me out when I want to be let out. Pet me here, not there. Yeah. Stop. Don't pick me up. Oh, yeah, they do. The cats are a bit more critical, we've just discovered. They help you to meet new people. Dog owners often stop and chat to each other on walks. That's nice. But other pets can be a way to meet new people too. In pet shops, training classes, or online groups, for example. Really clever point that I didn't really think of and haven't written in my script. But yeah, you get into the pets, you find out more about them, you do your learning. You might end up at the dog training class or at the fish fanciers meeting or at the... trying to think of a range of pets. I've done dogs, cats and fish. Birds. Yeah, you might end up... chasing your bird in the park and meet people that way. My dog's so forced. Yeah, you're forced to interact with people. No, it's all right, really. He's fine. Adding structure to your day. Having to feed, exercise and care for a pet can help you keep to a daily routine, which can help you feel more grounded and focused. It can give your day purpose and a sense of achievement. That's quite interesting, isn't it? A sense of achievement and purpose. Just from feeding the dog and walking the cat. Pets may also help with specific conditions. People with ADHD may benefit from the structure and routine of pet needs. I'll tell you what, I know for a fact that I know a young boy with learning difficulties, ADHD. I think he's on the autistic spectrum, and the relationship he has with his pet dog is fantastic. It's brilliant. It's really good for him, really comforting for him. So yeah, I absolutely attest to that. Autistic people can benefit from having a pet, it says there as well. So I just said it. How can I choose the right pet for me? We're going to come on to that in a minute. We've got a better one than your website for that. We've got a better one than yours, so we'll just briefly jump over that. What if I can't have a pet? That's coming up later. You just chill your boots. Where am I on my script? Pets, they're hard work though, and a huge commitment. Boom. Scotty needs a mental break from all the shouting. Let me have a little sip. Let's go big face while I have my mental break. Let's change the colour of the light so that you know that I'm having a mental break. Not a breakdown, just a break. Just a pause in proceedings. This is pit stop. Little sip of the tea. It'll catch my breath because I just sit here chuffling on, don't I? Little bite of the cake. Little bite of the... it's got a big piece of walnut in it. That's lucky. It's lucky. Well, they've all got big pieces of walnut in, so I chuff loads of walnuts in there. Lucky me. That is last week's cake. Apologies for talking with my mouth full. That is last week's cake. So it's a bit dry, but it's still good. Doggy daycare, day off lead. Yeah, I'm going to give you a little lecture. I'm not going to give you a lecture. I'm not even going to watch this video because copyright and all that business. But the general principle that we want to drive home here, really important. Maybe I should have put this at the start of the video. I'll do a cut thing I'm going to put in the start of the video. It's really important. Animals are not objects. Dogs for life, not for Christmas. Adopt, don't shop. Be prepared for what you're getting into. Don't go into this without thinking about it carefully, because it's a lot of responsibility and there's some aspects of it that are quite hard work. Said that. Right, we can put that in at the start as well. Doggies for Life is a what do you call it? Oh, I'm back on, aren't I? Where's my light? That's going to be inconsistent now. That first bit's going to be green, and everyone's going to be like, "Where's all the green gone?" So, a Doggies for Life is a concept that was raised by the Dogs Trust, I believe, as a charity campaign, not just for Christmas. Doggies for Life is what it's been shortened to stop people buying people dogs as gifts. And then the kids love them at Christmas. It's a puppy. It's brilliant. Gets into January, February. It becomes hard work. They don't realise how big it's going to get, how much exercise it's going to need. No one wants to pick up the poo. It's barking in the back garden. Nobody wants to take it for its walk. So they put it into a shelter. And that's how we end up with lots and lots of dogs that are unwanted, end up in shelters, being rescued, or sometimes even tragically euthanized. I think in America you have shelters that are forced to euthanize because they're so full. In the UK, the Dogs Trust don't euthanize dogs if they're healthy dogs. They keep them sometimes for a very long time if no one wants to home them. So there's this knock-on problem of pet ownership, of people who don't understand the responsibility and then get into the responsibility, and it becomes a big problem. They end up having to give up the animals. So really clear here, really clear from me that they're hard work and a huge commitment. You get a lot back, but it's hard work and a huge commitment. And it also means that, for example, most of us have got a friend who will look after our dog if you want to go on holiday. But when I did have Navin, here we go, Nigel, here's Navin coming up. When I had a difficult dog. You sometimes, we're going to come on to adopting animals a bit later, but you sometimes get a difficult animal. It might not be through breeding or adoption or making this choice or that. It might not be through the way you treat them. You might sometimes get a dog that wants to run off, or a little nipper or something, or in my case quite a big nipper. So when you have these issues and they become your responsibilities, for me, I took on the responsibility. I saw it through to the end, and it meant I went to Ireland, didn't I? So I did have a little holiday, but I wasn't prepared. And I did Sweden, filming in Sweden, and I did go to America. So actually I did go, and I've got a family that were used to dealing with the dog and could take care of him. So that was fine. But later on in his life, for sure, when he got more difficult, I absolutely didn't want to leave that responsibility on someone else's shoulders. So you've got to take that into consideration too. If you travel a lot, or if you want to travel a lot, or if you might change your lifestyle, move to another state in the next 5 years, you will probably still have this lovely companion. So they have to be considered in your life choices too. So lot of hard work and a huge commitment, but really good as well. Really, you get a lot out of it. Don't shop, adopt is what I've written, and this is the charity, the Dogs Trust. I'm sure you've got different charities all over the world for animal, animal shelters. Yeah, and there's another point I really want to make here as well. I'm going to make it here now while where's my script? While I'm here, I'm going to make this point. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you got a dog in good faith, if you thought you would look through all the paperwork and things haven't worked out in the way you expected, even though you've done all the hard work, if you're worried about this commitment, if you're feeling overwhelmed, this is another really important point to make on Mental Health Monday, which is it's okay for you to ask for more help. It might be that eventually your companion pet sadly gets rehomed. That might be the case. It might be you just need a break and somebody to take the weight off your shoulders for a bit, and they need a little pet holiday, with a different family member, a different person. It might be that someone else can help with that routine. To maybe today for Mental Health Monday, I asked my mom if she would please walk the doggy so I could prepare for Mental Health Monday. So we did that earlier. So having someone else that you can just, please, I need a bit of help today. That really makes a massive difference. Sharing the commitment, sharing the duties with someone else can really help. And if it gets to the point, we've got a friend who had to rehome a bird, and I don't know all of their thinking process, so I'm not going to, state things on their behalf, but I'm sure the bird had a better home, has been rehomed. I don't want to say better. Better's the wrong word. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. The bird has been rehomed where the bird has got another bird around it, and it's nice for the bird. So that's good for the bird. It's not been a negative that the bird got rehomed. The person who had the bird felt maybe a bit overwhelmed, a bit... I was saying about my cat waking me up in the night. If you're having a hard time with your mental health and you're companion animal is making a negative effect on your mental health, I think Mental Health Monday here, top line, bottom line, it's okay to put your mental health first. It might mean, as I said, rehoming the animal. And so when we talk about shelters, I think it's a real sad thing when someone irresponsibly gets an animal as a present. They think it's going to be fun. They thought a big tough dog would be, lots of fun, and then they're worried when it bites their kids, or they thought a wild cougar would make a great house pet, and then they're worried when it, attacks the postman. These sort of things are terrible shames. But at the same time, we are human, and we can underestimate things. And if you're suffering mentally, it is a shame, of course. It's not a wonderful thing, but it's no great shame for you to ask for help, and somebody else will be able to help you with that responsibility. It might be that through one of these shelters, because you care about these animals as well. You don't just want to discard them, do you? So that's the sad thing about this when it comes to mental health. But it might be that you can arrange for them to have a good life. I'm not saying better. Like I said, I think you could probably do a good job. But if you need help doing that job, or if someone else can do a different job, a better job, and that's what needs to happen, then I think it's fair for us on Mental Health Monday to say thumbs up to that too. So these shelters are not just here to take the waifs and strays as they come up, but they're also here to help people who have got issues. It might be temporary. It might be that you can find a temporary placement. So yeah, said that. I'll take your cat. We'll have to ship her off airmail, won't we? Should like that. Oh, and over there it wouldn't be 2 a.m, so she wouldn't do it. She only does it here because she's on exotic time zone. Pets have mental health too. What the chuff? Okay, we're going to do choosing a pet, and then we're going to do pets have mental health too. So I've said all this about that. It's important before you think about getting a pet. Let's go web browser. So this is not quite Mental Health Monday, is it? It's choosing a pet. But it is, because it's important. It's important to think about. And I believe that looking at these things that I was looking at earlier, looking at these is actually really interesting when you start thinking about how you yourself live. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into chat, because I think we often underestimate our own needs. And paste it into chat. Underestimate our own needs as humans. That's one of the things we've been learning in Mental Health Mondays. We kind of underestimate our self-care. So thinking about these aspects is interesting for ourselves as well. So let's get into it. Place, exercise, time spent, and knowledge. Place. These are straight, and it spells pets. Look, P-E-T-S. Yeah, great. Pets K. Pets K. Doesn't spell pets. It spells pets K. So yeah, okay. Place. What size garden do you have? All pets need space to run and play, but dogs in particular need regular access to a safe and secure outdoor space. Many cats also enjoy being able to exercise outdoors, and rabbits and guinea pigs need access to a large run or a garden to be happy and healthy. Fish, not so much. But that's interesting, isn't it? From our point of view, you need space to run and play. We don't all live in big spaces, and if we do, we fill them with things. We don't use our gardens as exercise zones, do we? So we need to go out into the woods sometimes, or the countryside, or the park, or the gym. Need space to run and play. And so if you're thinking about pets, thinking about what you naturally do to get that space, whether you use gym equipment or whether you go out into the woods, might help you to think about what sort of pet might suit you. Maybe a pet might take you into different places. I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. Exercise. Is it going to do the exercise one next? All right, I'm going to answer the question for us. Next. How active are you? Dogs enjoy regular walks and playing off the lead wherever it's safe for them to do so. The amount of exercise a dog will need depends on their age, breed and health. All pets enjoy fun games and playing with toys to keep them active, but for smaller pets you can easily do this in your house. This is an important point as well though. I know a young lady who is in a wheelchair and she controls it with the stick. So she's not particularly active in a sort of general context, you might say. But of course, she's out and about with her dog. She's got a lovely little dog. She's out and about with it all the time. So being physical, you don't have to be a big hench chuffer running around the woods every day lifting the logs. getting out and allowing the dog to run. I like to go to the woods. I'll tell you a secret. I like to go to the woods because when I get there, I let the dog off the lead and he just does his stuff, and I don't have to run. Like if I was on the lead doing the walk around the block and he wanted to run, I have to run. He's off the lead. He does what he wants. I bought a house with a yard for my dog. Otherwise, a condo would have been fine for me. I don't know why. Do you know, this is brilliant. Send her on a cruise. I like that as well. She'd love that. I'm in England, and I've always seen this word, always seen it on the American media, and I've never known what a condo is. Never known. Condominium? It's probably short for condominium, isn't it? But I don't even know what that is. A flat, an apartment that's owned. There you go. As opposed to one that's one that's rented from the apartment block. Yeah. So you buy your own apartment in a place, and that's your one. You don't just. It's not like a little hotel room that you've just got for a bit. Learn something new every day. So how active am I? I'm not very active. I don't spend much time. I spend a lot of time outdoors. I like that. I have long walks all year round, and I'm not put off by bad weather and muddy paws. Do you see the difference there? That's important. A lot of people don't mind going out. They have a bop out down the park or whatever, but going out all year round in the rain or and I actually find it really mentally healthy. I find it really mentally sustaining to see the change in the seasons for myself, to feel the biting wind, to feel the crunch of the snow, to even if it's raining and muddy, I often fall in the mud, and it always cheers me up. Even though I'm covered in chuffing mud, I always find it funny. So when we get back from those walks, dog has to have a bath. That's an extra duty. It's like dog has to have a bath all the time. People's dogs need to be kept clean. You can take them to the groomers, whatever. But if it's your house and your dog and it's covered in chuffing mud, more duties. So it's worth pointing that out. And of course, different dogs need different levels of bath, don't they? But yeah, I'm a big chuffer. I am. Look, there's me out in the snow, not holding hands with anyone. Usually I'm on my own, really. To be fair, how much time do you have to spend with your pet? So before we get onto that, I've just jumped onto it before I did. Exercise. Before we do that, let's consider exercise for us, because it just makes the point, and it's really interesting that we also, as animals, need that regular exercise. And I described the changing seasons and being out in the elements. We probably don't all need to be up a mountain. We probably don't all need to swim in a lake. But seeing some of the life, feeling some of the elements, being part of the world, doing some exercise, we definitely all need that. We're animals too. Time. How much time do you have to spend with your pet? Pets are generally sociable, and dogs especially love your company. It's really important they aren't left alone for longer than 4 hours, as dogs can become lonely, anxious and distressed, just like us. Walks, training, playtime, feeding, cleaning their home and equipment, or cleaning up after your pet. Chucking that chuffing squeaky toy. Grooming and visits to the vet can start to add up and might take more time than you think. That's interesting. They've started to bring in this extra bit as well, haven't they? The vets, the grooming. Things might take more time than you think. Do you have time to spend on your pet? Good. What about yourself? Are you spending time on yourself every week? Are you really busy with little free time? Out the house for more than 4 hours most days? Are you getting to spend a little bit of quality time for you, recharging those batteries every day? Are you out the house for most of the day, but at home and free once you're at home quite a lot? That's in the middle, isn't it? That's probably most of us. Most people go to work, but when we get back, we've got a bit of time. That's the balance. Loads of free time to devote to my new pet. Sounds great. Sounds great, doesn't it? I've got loads of free time. I'm one of those because I didn't have a job for a year because the corona shut me down from working, and I decided to become a carer instead. So I did have a job, but I didn't consider it a job. It was just I was caring for my nan and staying home. So I had loads of free time. But you've got to consider this one about yourself. Have you got loads of free time to devote to your pet right now when you're in the midst of a mental health depression spell? And if you were to push on and do the things that you want to do in your life, if you made a list of targets, goals, if you get that job, if you move to this new place, will that change the amount of free time you have? And is having lots of free time right now conducive to a positive mental health state? Are you spending too much time at home? Are you spending enough time, as we said before, recharging your batteries, making sure you feel good. Are you spending enough time pushing out into the world, trying new things and improving your mental health in that way? That's worth considering. I like this. This is good fun, isn't it? I've got loads of free time. Next. Except I don't really. Oh, I can't go back now. Oh, I can. I'm not out of the house all the time, but the other thing I find is that I'm editing quite a lot these days. Yay, I'm back in the groove. But when the animals are doing their tricks, you've seen it on stream, haven't you? When they're all doing their tricks and I've got to try and do my edit, I have to get up all the time and it breaks my concentration and stuff. So the edit suffers, the animals don't. But it's worth noting that you might feel like you've got a lot of free time because you're sat there writing a book. But if you get a dog, that writing the book might not suddenly still feel like lots of free time to write the book, mightn't it? So got to consider your life and how these companions will fit into your life, because they do take priority when it comes to their care, their well-being, and their mental health, as we will come on to see. How much money could you spend on your new pet? That's a strange question, isn't it? Well, I could spend forever. I could spend all my money. Just buy them gold steaks. And no, that's not vegan. Look, it's not the initial cost of just getting a new pet you need to consider. Food, equipment, toys, flea and worm treatments, pet insurance premiums, replacing a chewed up bed or unexpected vet bills, it all adds up significantly over the lifetime of your pet, especially as they get older or develop health problems. I can afford, and it gives you the money, like, I suppose how much, I don't even know how much we spend. I'll be honest, I'm not the sole arbiter of the spending on the animal. I would choose to spend as much as I could, but I don't know if I can afford it. You know, if I were to do my actual budget and it was just me and my budget, because like I say, I'm lucky that other people like quite happily buy things for that dog, but I wouldn't necessarily be able to afford all of the luxuries that he enjoys. That's just the damn truth. We'll just go in the middle for ticking, but it's important to think about, isn't it? It's made me think about that even more now. Yeah, they can be very, and when you think about it over the year, now I'm thinking about it, it adds up. Yeah, they can be quite a cost. So you've got to be prepared for that, because again, their priorities come quite highly. Something you might notice about this is something I worry about people who have animals when they're homeless, is all the reasons we've said so far. It's a great thing. They're companions. They can help them with their mental health routine and stuff. There is a negative and a worry that they don't have the money to support the animal if it were to be sick and need to go to the vet, or to feed it the full range of diet it might need. But quite often, I've spoken to homeless people who have pets. They put their pets' welfare before their own. So quite often that is the case. But yeah, just interesting points to raise, things to think about. Let's spin this on its head. How much money do you spend on yourself? Are you doing these things, food, equipment, toys and stuff, and are you getting to do your own insurance? And I don't do enough of that. I don't have an insurance policy for my, this and that. I just can't afford it, absolutely. But it's not just food, is it? Stuff like that. Doing your own bills and finances and budget is a huge part of people's mental health concerns. This isn't a finance channel, so I haven't tried to bring this up as a big topic. We will have different problems in life, and we will have, I believe, the same worries about money, even though some of us have more of it. It seems I've seen people who had lots of money like end up losing it all and struggling and having the same worries as someone who didn't have as much money. And some people with big businesses who are spinning so many more plates and responsible for so many people that even they feel, so money is a stress for everyone. I get that. So, and how much money are you spending on what and how is a huge part of mental health concerns. So it's just brought that up for us. So it's interesting. I think it's interesting. The final one. Look, donate to PDSA down the bottom there. Maybe I should, because they've provided. I've got my regular people who I like to support. How much do you know about the pet that you want? Right, knowledge. This is a big one. We're dropping knowledge bombs. I wrote some lyrics, some lyrics, didn't I? Earlier, the other day. I'm not going to say them. This isn't hip hop time. This is knowledge time. We have a local charity, Frosted Faces, that rehomes old dogs, and they pay for the medical care of the dogs you adopt. Wow, that's amazing. Paying for the medical care of the adopted dogs, like that ongoing. That is amazing. They can get quite expensive if you don't. We've got a pet plan, I think, because when we've had lots of experience in the past, you don't know what could happen, and you're going to want to. It's a family member. You don't have an NHS for the dog, so yeah. Knowledge. We're a nation of animal lovers, but the reality of owning a pet can be different from what we expect. Researching as much as you can about the species and breed of pet you want is really important, and real life experiences of people who already own that pet and advice from a vet are essential. Make sure you know about the Animal Welfare Acts and the 5 welfare needs that each pet needs to be healthy and happy. The Animal Welfare Act means that pet owners have a duty of care to the welfare needs of their pets to ensure they're physically and mentally healthy and happy. The 5 needs are, and we can go over this for ourselves as well, but first, just knowledge. Knowledge about ourselves is really important, isn't it? Knowing what to do, how to fix it. That's what we're doing here on Mental Health Monday. I think that's a really good point. Do you know enough about your own biology, your own mind, to be able to push forward in the right ways? It's why we need educating, all of us, all the way through our lives. It's why we should strive to educate ourselves. I love it. Brilliant. How much you know about the pets you want is huge. I've had direct experience in life. My dad got a dog that was not what he expected. Or maybe it was, but he didn't listen to the real life experiences of the people who already own those pets. Maybe that was the case. It's hard to do that. It's hard to know because you read things, you listen to them, but you don't really know until you've been in the situation yourself, do you? That's the same with lots of things in life. Environment. Let's look at these 5 needs. And we've got these same needs, remember. Environment. Give them a safe, suitable place to live. Absolutely. We want to feel safe, don't we? All of us. Diet. Feed them the right type and amount of food. Absolutely. Keep yourself physically healthy. It helps with your mental health. Behaviour. Allow them to show normal behaviour patterns. That's big, especially for us vegans. Normal behaviour patterns. It's not about me bullying my dog into... Of course we want obedience. Of course we want good behaviour. And of course we train it. But it's not about me bullying my dog if he wants to do a bit of a run. It's not about me being angry at my cat if she wants to scratch. I'm angry about the chair, so I get her a scratchy post. So they need to exhibit their normal behaviours. Companionship. Some pets like to live alone, whilst others need the company of other pets. That's interesting. It's not just they need your company. Some animals, we talked about the bird earlier, and it being rehomed with other birds. So it would actually benefit from that. Please don't remove kitty claws. Yeah, that's a huge one. We don't do that in the UK generally. In the UK, we generally have the culture of cat ownership in the UK is a bit more free and easy. You get a cat, you feed it, it does what the chuff it wants. But I know that other cultures, they keep the cats indoors maybe and don't even let it out. And even in the UK, people do that. It's there's a variety within the cultures. So there's a spectrum of cat ownership behaviours from the owners, and the amount of cat behaviours they allow them to exhibit, to the point, you have urban coyotes, there you go. So you don't just let them chuff about, do you? So all these different reasons, all these different ecosystems that I'm not entirely knowledgeable about. But in England, thankfully, we don't have that. So we've got a fox up our road. We've seen it a number of times, but it doesn't kill my cats, thankfully. So we just let them do what they want. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I should be, giving them more of a routine. We need you in by 10 o'clock, please, and you cannot wake me up at 4 o'clock this evening. Thank you. Health. Keep your pets in good health and seek vet advice if they're ill or injured. Basic, isn't it? Same with us. That's the main thing we're doing here, isn't it? Mental Health Monday. It's part of that health thing. Cool. That's the PDSA. They're saving pets and changing lives. They're a British charity. I'm not going to promote a specific charity and ask you to support a specific charity, because I know that all over the world there are lots and lots of different ones, and actually I believe that the smaller local charities probably do really good work and have a harder time being supported financially, harder time marketing and promoting their businesses. If you know a small mom and pop shop, local animal shelter, then they kick the table. They need your support. Round our way, it's the Avon Cat Rescue that over our lifetime we must have given a bajillion cans of cat food to. So yeah, make sure you support your local ones as well. They really need your help. But of course, these big organisations, they do get where's my browser window? These big organisations, they do get a lot of support from the public, which is really important to them. But they also get bigger support from, I believe, don't hold me to this, but they also get a bigger financial support network from patrons, from the government, from other aspects. They've got charity shops, they've got like business aspects to them. So there's Frosted Faces Foundation is a non-profit that does promise. Yeah, that sounds nice. There is one other aspect of dogs here that I'm going to bring up quickly, just because it's me, isn't it? And I have to. I worry about, the Dogs Trust is a good example. I worry about the fact that their business is predicated on having a supply of rescue dogs. So let's say, for example, everyone in England gets all excited, goes out and rescues a dog, the shelters are empty. This charity is not going to keep producing profit because you pay money to the charity to, I don't know if it's profit actually, it might just be, you cover costs, because they probably spend a lot homing these dogs, don't they? So I'm not certain on this, but I worry that there are some animal charities that, if we were to fix their problem, would then sort of go out of business, and that there might be a kind of economy here of never-ending supply of dogs, never-ending, shelter business. I don't want to support a never-ending problem. I want to try and fix it. But like I said, it's big picture thing, small picture thing. I can't fix the big picture thing of how many dogs there are, of how these charities maintain their finances, of what the directors, of how the directors balance out the payments, of how the directors pay themselves. I can't fix that. So what I can do is to help the animals. So Baja Animal Sanctuary rehomes ferals from the streets of Mexico. Wow, that sounds pretty... like in the UK, we've got wild, like you'd say feral, we'd just call them stray, because they don't stay out for long. But we do have a few feral cats maybe, but yeah, we don't have as many street animals as they do in places like Mexico. What we do have is a ready supply of street animals from Romania, for example, and there are charities that specialise in moving them from places in Europe to the UK where they can get better accommodation, better homing, better families. And some people would say, don't import animals from abroad. Don't import them because we want to fix our own problem first. But it's a wider net problem, isn't it? If they're not fixing it over there, maybe we can help. And this is, again, plays into my worry of, do they find a supply of animals because they want to make sure they're constantly getting animals through their shelter for the directors to make profit, or is it because we want to fix the lives of every animal? Well, either way, it fixes the life of every animal, so let's try and fix the life of the animal. They're predominant breeds from Romania. I don't know. I think they're probably more likely to be mixed breeds. There is this problem of pedigree ownership, which I haven't gone into here. We've got 2 points to make about the negatives, the cons. We've done a bit of them through the episode, so I'm not going to repeat some of them, but we've got 2 points to make about the cons, and I'll deal with your question right now. So I don't know if there are predominant breeds, but one of the cons in the UK, and across the world, is that the Kennel Club came together. I should get them up. I haven't got a picture of them. I'll leave it on this. The Kennel Club came together in Victorian times. I believe it was the UK, but also America. I think there was an American Kennel Club. And what they did is they said, look, we're going to draw lines around what a dog should be. I'll go big face. We're going to draw lines around what a dog should be. We're going to say, let's take, for example, the beagle. Its legs should be this long. It should have a straight back. It should have a shape of a nose like this. Draw its head. Its tail should stick up. That's the beagle. That's what that should look like. And then breeders have a breed standard to aim for, and then we can judge them on who's got the best dog based on the breed standard. And it removed the subjectivity around who's got the best dog, because we've got a standard that we can measure them against. But they simply made that up themselves. The Victorian Kennel Club, the members of the group in the Victorian times, made that up themselves. And as Snip says here, they breed in health problems. They didn't make up these breed ideals based on what's good for the dog. or they didn't understand the evolutionary biology at play. They simply did it for aesthetic reasons. So now, some years later, it's this weird concept that the perfect beagle looks like this. And you go to Crufts, and this is a really good example of a Borzoi. This is the perfect Jack Russell. Look how good this dog is. And then they breed these pug dogs with the faces that can't breathe, and the bulldogs and the things, and they breed them even worse and even worse, and it's harmful for the dogs. It's a shame for them, because you get, on top of the pedigree breeders who are trying to breed the perfect dog and actually breeding a sort of in-building a genetic problem into the dog that the dog then suffers with for life. On top of that, you've got people that do puppy farming, where there's a lot of money in these perfect dogs. Just any old dog from Romania, just a street dog, a mixed breed, this dog and that dog and that dog in its lineage, any old genetics, that's not worth money. That's just a mongrel. But if you've got a beautiful pedigree, kennel club registered, proper dog, that its mum won Crufts and its dad's mum won Crufts, and it's got this lineage of dog shows and wins and breeding like a upper class dog, if you've got that, then it's worth money. So people, not very nice people with bad ethics, get one of those dogs. It might cost them a bit of money, or maybe they steal it, and then they make it breed, and then they've got loads of puppies to sell. They're worth money. And there's a lot of those pug-faced dogs, or the smaller breeds are used for this, because it's easier to breed a load of small dogs in your back garden, in your shed, than it is to breed a load of Rottweilers, isn't it? So they use smaller dogs for that. And dog breeding, pedigree breeding, the kennel club, that's all in the negatives. That's all in the con section, isn't it? It's all in the con section. And strangely though, it's seen by the people that adhere to those strange ideas, the people that think those strange ideas are like written in stone somewhere and that they shouldn't be abandoned, those, because it's built an industry that they are part of, because they breed the dogs, they profit from them, they go to the shows, because the business that runs the show is promoted, and there's a lot of money involved in that. They're not just going to abandon it. But it's not good for dogs. It's a con. And it's not just a con in terms of a negative, but it's a con job, because there's nothing different about the pedigree dog than the mixed breed that I've got in terms of character and nature and heart. There might be, if you breed that into them, they might be more aggressive or a better rabbit catcher or whatever. We've gone way past that. We're not talking about the evolution of man's best friend as a hunting companion. We're just talking about aesthetics. And sometimes you breed a dog for aesthetics and it becomes more aggressive because you didn't think carefully about what you were doing. Or it becomes more docile because you did. And even that can be a problem, because maybe the most docile dog is maybe not the most well intelligently bred dog. I don't know. Wow, big ramble. Not supposed to be going off on a chuffer. Don't shop, adopt. Pets have mental health too. Let's get on to that. And then finally, we'll do the volunteer share duties and the other things like that. So before we do pets have things too, I'm going to do one more call to action, which is, this is our Ganji Kid channel. It's on YouTube, Ganji Kid. You can find us there. That's the full length stream videos. And then you can also find Ganji Cuts. If you just scroll down there, Ganji Cuts, Ganji Kid Art Chat, Mental Health Monday, all our other channels of the edits and stuff we do. And what we're talking about today is Mental Health Monday. We've got our own channel for that, Mental Health Monday, 10 subscribers. It's growing slowly but surely. And our most recent video about ghosts and talk boxes is available to view as of today. Called to action. You've been called to action. So, dog depression. See, today is not just about me and you as human beings. Today is about our animals. And so, I thought what we'd do is a little segment for the animals. So this is officially Mental Health Monday for dogs. Dog depression and symptoms. 8 telltale signs. 8 telltale signs. They've got tails, haven't they, dogs? So it's like a pun. Dog depression affects a number of pets. Depression is not more prevalent in one breed over another. Any dog is susceptible to depression. It seems dogs showing symptoms also face life-changing events, such as a move to a new home, change of owners, new addition to the family, or another pet recently died. There are 8 signs to help identify if dog depression is a factor. So I'm going to quickly bang out some dog depression facts because it's making me feel guilty because my dog, he waits for me now. We're at 9 o'clock. We're going to move to 10 o'clock and that's his walk time. So he waits for me this hour. He's like, I want my walk. I'll wait this hour. And I've got lots of editing to do. And we've done a really good episode, nice and succinctly. So I'm going to get these out. We're going to get these out. You ready? This will make a little cheeky little video, won't it? So 8 points to make. Number 1, a change to the dog's eating habits. A dog might start eating excessively, wolfing down a meal while still hungry, and other depressed dogs stop eating. They might nibble at their food and walk away without having finished a meal. Point 1. Point 2, look out for low energy. If the energy level in a dog suffering from depression also changes. The dog lies around sleeping all day. If you try and engage the dog, he or she acts listless and shows no enthusiasm. Becoming withdrawn. A depressed dog, that's number 3. Becoming withdrawn. A depressed dog prefers to be alone. They will go into a quiet room to avoid you. The dog might hide under a bed or behind a sofa. When you call them, they ignore you, often failing to lift even the head in response. Oh, it's sad, isn't it? I've got how many now? 4. Severe weight loss, point 4. Linked to the change in eating habits, dog depression cases usually find the dog losing a good deal of weight. Weight loss in dogs is troublesome, so keep a good eye on your dog's size. If more than a few pounds disappear, call your vet. 4. 5. Refuses water. As a dog withdraws from its owner and a normal routine, water intake is usually affected. The pet sleeps more, not playing, turning his nose up at food or water, so dehydration is a grave concern for dogs. If your dog's refusing water, contact your vet immediately. And I'm going to just also factor in drinking a lot of water, because I had a dog, Navin, and you know what? It actually did turn out, he wasn't depressed, but he started drinking a lot of water. It was later on in his life, and he'd slowed down. I was doing less with him. I was working a lot more as well, actually. I think was it before I quit hairdressing or just before? And I took him to the vet and I was like, look, he's drinking loads of water, and the vet wanted us to check his urine to see if he had a kidney problem. And in the end, they sort of said, we think he might be a bit bored. And I thought, well, chuff it, and when's the last time I bought him a toy? When's the last, because I do the usual, I take him for his walk every day, I do the usual, but then I'm getting on with my work and, okay, fair play. And I went out and I bought him loads of toys. I bought him a UFO thing that dispensed treats, and I bought him a ducky and a squeaky, and, right back to the puppy days. All the stuff that we just sort of took for granted that we don't do anymore because he's a grown-up, I just stopped buying him toys, didn't I? I just stopped entertaining him in that way because you just get used to the sort of routine. And so when he was bored, he was having a drink, the vet said. And I did, lo and behold, I played with him a lot more. I concentrated, deliberately did it. And he stopped drinking as much. He cheered up a bit. It wasn't a huge period in his life. We kept an eye on these things, don't we? We're looking out for him. So when he did start drinking a lot, we were like, what's going on here straight away? But he can drink a little bit more, maybe. That happened to me. And I pride myself on being a good animal owner. So we got to the bottom of that straight away. But I had been negligent, not in my, not like negligent like neglect, but I'd taken things for granted that I needn't take for granted. I'd taken for granted that he doesn't play with toys anymore because he's an older dog. But actually, he did like the ducky. We had a little go on that until he ripped it to bits. But, if he wants to rip things to bits every once in a while, I shouldn't stop getting him things, should I? That's natural behaviour. It just means I have to put up with things being ripped to bits. Changes to eating habits. This is point number... chuff it. I forgot what number we're on. I was doing it on my fingers. So we've got changes to eating habits is 1, isn't it? Then we've got low energy 2, becoming withdrawn 3, severe weight loss 4, refusing water 5, low energy 6. We can't have changing to eating habits again. Weight loss we've already done, refusing water, anxious and restless 7, sheds excessively and acts aggressive. Okay. I forgot what number we're on, and we're going to do anxious and restless. Dogs dealing with depression usually show signs of anxiety too. The dog jumps at little things like a door closing because it signals your departure from the house. The dog may seem unable to find a comfortable spot. Some dogs will follow their owners around from room to room, yet not want to interact at all. That's really interesting. I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you another one I've seen. Nathan chewed his foot once, or twice, or a little bit. He started chewing his foot, and it was separation anxiety. He used to have separation anxiety when we first got him. I got a rescue dog, and they said he's going to bark at night for a bit. You look out for that. Lo and behold, every time I left him at night, because he had his own little bedroom, every time I left him at night downstairs in his little bedroom, he'd start his little yapping. Yip, not like a rah rah rah, but yip, like separation anxiety. He learned, after the first couple of weeks, he learned that there was no problem. I was there in the morning. All he had to do was go to sleep. He got over it, and it's something that a lot of dogs deal with and grow out of. But it was around probably the same time as the drinking, the chewing the foot. I did notice he was chewing his foot a little bit once or twice, and I was like, what the chuff is he doing that for? Anxiety, the vet said. The separation anxiety. I used to have to go to work at the hairdressers, and he would spend some time at home on his own. And of course, we got used to the separation anxiety at night, but I didn't see his anxiety when I was at work. He was at home. I didn't see it. So I only saw the result at the end when he decided to chew his foot. So there are some things you can't see. They're animals. You can't talk to them. You can tell them things they can't talk about. You can read them, but you don't know. So this anxiety following you around the house, not interacting, not being able to get comfortable. Yeah, interesting to look out for. Anxious and restless. Sheds excessively. Excessive shedding in case of dog depression links to dietary changes too. When a dog stops eating, their body redirects nutrients. So look out for excessive shedding. Acts aggressive. This one you won't be able to miss. Yeah, acts aggressive. Finally, a dog suffering from depression may become aggressive towards his or her owner. The dog snaps, growls, wanting to be alone, and acts touchy if you try and engage him or her in activity. Naven used to do that sometimes, definitely. There were times he was scared of me engaging with him in any way. There were times he'd been rescued and he'd had a difficult life, and I believe he'd been the victim of violence, because sometimes even if I was just going to go, oh, hello, Naven, like that, the raising of the hands would make him cower. And acts aggressive. I've seen other dogs become aggressive over time because of problems in their environment. I've seen that in action sometimes. I've seen it dealt with by experts as well. So you can deal with this. You don't. But also, T- should have put this at the top, shouldn't I? When we're talking about rescuing, I will try and edit this into the rescuing bit. You've got to be really careful with children, dogs and children. Kids love dogs, dogs love kids, but dogs don't necessarily know the correct way to interact with children until you teach them, and vice versa. So a kid could pull a dog's tail, a dog might try and bite a kid. You definitely, having a dog, maybe people don't see this with smaller dogs, but certainly the bigger dogs, can be like having a loaded gun in the house, and you are fully responsible for not allowing the kid to play with the gun when you're not there, or even at all with the gun. But with the dog, when you're not there, you don't want these things to get out of hand. You're responsible, and it's important, if you're going to rescue a dog, if you're going to take a dog that's had a difficult background, that's been through the rescue process, it's important that you might need to take time to help that dog to rehabilitate, to learn how to behave. And if you've got children, then they are potentially at risk through this process. So you really want to be careful. That is not to say that you can't get a wonderful dog that's great with kids. That's not to say that at all. And it's not to say that the charity will try and palm off a dangerous animal onto you and go, can't wait for those kids to get bit. They'll be responsible too. So that's really worth saying as well, isn't it? And with that said, we've got our final chapter tonight, which is, and I'm going to play this one more time. How to interact with animals. Let's move it so it looks better. There we go. How to interact with animals if you can't have your own animals. I've got a list of things you can do here. You can volunteer. You can volunteer at a sanctuary, at a charity, somewhere like that needs people to help them look after their animals. You can also volunteer with people you know, with your nan's dog, with your neighbour's dog. Do you need a friend to take care of the dog for a day or two? Do you need anyone to walk it? We've got a friend who looks after my sister's dog sometimes when I can't be chuffed. But quite usually I have my sister's dog as well as my dog. You know, see if you can volunteer to share duties. You don't have to volunteer at the farm sanctuary. But you could. Pet sitting goes into the same topic there, but it's great, isn't it? It takes the weight off somebody else and it helps you to engage with an animal. And I think with pet sitting, it's really important if you're thinking of getting an animal, if you're thinking of getting a dog, to go and interact. Can I maybe, can she stay over tonight? Can I borrow your dog? Because I want to see what it's like, sort of thing. That can actually be really healthy, really helpful. The farm sanctuary we're looking at now, we've talked about that before, but I do have a video on battery exhausted. I'm not really trying to push battery exhausted so much anymore, am I? But we will try and Ganji Vegan will try and be resurrected in future, and you can watch that video. You can watch it on battery exhausted now if you want. This is one you're going to think I'm a bit out there, but I'm going to say it anyway. Ducks at the park. Ducks at the park? What's he going on about? Ducks at the park. You're not supposed to feed them bread, even though it's traditional. Whoa, what's going on? You're supposed to feed. They don't bake very often in their own habitat. They're not big bakers, so they forage for other things. And so if you can give them some things that are more natural to their diet, then it's better for them. They won't fill up on bread and then not eat their dinner. So not supposed to give them bread, but going to the park and feeding the ducks is simple. It's engaging with animals. We don't think of it very often. We take it for granted in a way. Feeding the birds in your garden. My garden is over in that direction, beyond the walls. Beyond the walls. Feeding the animals in your garden, that is taken for granted sometimes, but I believe it really counts, and it can be a part of a regular routine, and you can familiarise yourself with an environment and the nature within it. The woods follows on from that. I go to the woods. Now, of course, I'm not looking after the deer. I'm not looking after Mr. Rabbit. I only barely see them once or twice, when I'm out and about. But it's fantastic. It's fuel for the soul to stop in your tracks and see Mr. Deer, Mrs. Deer. Sorry, they're not all male. That's the patriarchy. To see the deer, and for a moment there, your eyes meet, and then they scarper. But for a moment there, it's really mentally healthy to go out into nature and to be lucky enough to catch a glimpse of it. So not only do you find big animals in the woods and your garden, like bears and raccoons where you live, but you also get tiny animals, and they're not to be overlooked. There is something beautiful and very meditative about sitting and watching a bee feed on the pollen of the flowers, or watching ants run back and forth into your cupboard to steal your jam. No, but seriously, tiny little insects. We hate a lot of them, don't we? I don't like the flies. I don't like the wasps. But some of them are beautiful. Bees are wonderful. And it can be really mentally refreshing just to sit and just watch them work and not really think about your own problems so much, and to realise how things might just be allowed to slip away into not being as important. Maybe your worries, maybe your concerns can just drift away while you watch the ants, I like it anyway. I like it. 9:20. We did all right, didn't we? 9:22. I think we're doing all right, aren't we? We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Have I got everything through my list? This was the only one I haven't done. This is mine.org, and it's a personal account. So I'm going to copy it. I pasted it. This is mine, and it's a personal account. I'm going to copy it. Please copy it. Could you imagine if that was my job, to be like an admin or something? I can't even do a copy-paste. Copy it and paste it here. Paste it. Shut there. There are local Airbnbs here that are either sanctuaries or have farm animals on site. Oh, wow. That's a really wonderful... So being in America is good because you've got bigger concepts. There are positives. An air, like a little holiday where you help with the animals. Yeah, I suppose the negative is that, again, it might be a business predicated on animal exploitation, and without the animals, they haven't got a business. So are they helping the animals, or are the animals helping them? You know, you worry about where the profits go. But at the same time, I do think that in the same principle as the cat sanctuary, if you could look into it and you believe they're doing the good work, you know, they might save a lot of animals and really help people educate themselves on what's valuable and important and the responsibilities. So there's a lot to be said for that. Yeah. And certainly for kids, you know, not going to a zoo where you're paying money to keep an animal in captivity, but going somewhere where, you know, they're rescuing animals and you can stay there with the kids. Yeah, that'd be cool. Love to hang out with piggies and goats. Yeah. How getting a goat saved my life. How getting a dog saved my life. So there's a lot of actual writing, and it's somebody's personal account, so I'm not going to just plagiarise them and read it all out on the internet. But the bullet points here are going to cover some things that we have actually covered before. So I'm just going to finish on this. The love thing. We covered that, didn't you? Companionship. The love thing. The responsibility thing. Let's not forget that. It is a big responsibility, but also you're forced into feeding them, walking them and cleaning up for them. So it makes you feel productive. It gives you a responsibility, and by engaging with the responsibility, you get into a good routine. The pride thing. Pride's not a virtue. We know that. But you get a sense of pride when your dog learns a new trick. Oh, bless. Yeah, you know, you love them and you feel good about them. And you can feel good about the work you're doing with them and the other animals in nature that you're helping as well. The social thing, absolutely, we talked about that. Secret social club. People just come up and talk to you. Is that your dog? It's a nice dog. Your dog just goes up and talks to people. I'm sorry about my dog. Can I get her back on a lead? There's also the general people up and down your street. People nod and smile at you, and you can get into long conversations. Yeah, not just that, you might join a group, mightn't you, based on your animals. Physical health, the daily routines, the walking. Yeah, we love that. And they're finishing here with research it properly, which is what we've been trying to drive home. We're a very general podcast today about animals in general. But if you've got a particular animal on your mind, if you've got a particular thing you're thinking about, make sure to do your research. Make sure to visit somewhere where you can engage with those animals, learn and listen, find out what the people who own them say. Another great tip, this is a good top tip. We'll go on Scotty's big face to finish. Big face. I'm being summoned. I've got to go and play Fortnite. Well, I've actually got to go and walk the doggies, so they'll have to wait a little bit longer. The main final point that I wanted to make, I've kind of made, I think. I wanted to say this, though. We joined a dog club. It was one of the most beautiful... you're here now, Jay, so you can hear me saying it. We joined a dog club, and it was one of the most beautiful and wonderful experiences that I've had in my life, really. And I'm even just didn't realise it until I'm saying it now. Thinking about it is making me almost emotional. We went there with little Ruby as a puppy. She graduated. She had her little training classes. You know, it was wonderful for her to have a little training teacher. And the teacher, she used to talk like this. Now get your dogs to do a sit. Now get your dogs to lie down. And the funniest thing happened was she said to the people in class, everybody knows from the way I'm dressed. And this is what I was going to go on to say. It changes, doesn't it? You look at the people, you learn, you do your research. Look at how they're dressed. Look at how they're living, because that could be you. Everybody knows from the way I'm dressed that I like dogging. That's what she said. Everybody knows from the way I'm dressed that I like dogging. And everybody in the class fell about laughing. Of course, she meant walking in the woods with the dog. She didn't mean meeting up in the woods to do sexual things with strangers. But that's the colloquial terminology in our country. Dogging in the woods. Dogging is a sexual malpractice. It's not malpractice, it's just a practice. I mean, you can do it if you like to. It's up to you. I'm on the internet. I'm definitely not promoting any weird sex on the internet, though, as well, am I? So let's be careful. But yeah, all of us lined up with all our dogs. Everybody can see from the way I'm dressed that I like dogging. Thought, bloody hell, have you got your stockings on underneath, love? So that happened. We had this wonderful time at Dog Club. The dog grew. We learned. We made friends. Eventually, we outgrew the dog club. It outgrew us. There was a time it moved, it closed down, it changed. We went back with our new dogs to a new dog club. we started a new journey. But there were some really happy times, and we had Christmas parties and community. The dog had their own friends that they, saw regularly. And when Ruby was really old, when she was a really old dog, in her final days, when we knew they were her final days as well, I took her. The dog club was closed; there was no one there. But I took her there, and she walked around, and she recognised it, and she smelled the door. And I picked her up, and I showed her in there, and I said, "Do you remember when we used to come here? And you used to lie down. Do you remember you likes to lie down?" And she knew. She had her happy memories as well. Yeah. So yeah, dog club was brilliant. That's a nice thought to finish on, isn't it? That's a nice thought to finish on, because I've now been summoned to play for Fortnite and walk the dog. So listen, you be good. You have been good. You've given me like a bajillion tippies, which was massive at the start, and that's fueling the ongoing improvement, which you're going to see in this coming next couple of weeks. I'm not going to bang on about it too much. I've done a video about it, but I really do thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I feel, Nigel, Snippies, Capital K hasn't put his chat in here, but I'm sure he'll watch it later. We've had new people like 187 Fish, Mean Tone, who, again, I'm sure they'll see this later. I feel this positive vibe within the group, and I think it's a really good thing. And I think we're cultivating something good. So I'm really grateful to you. I'm really grateful to you. Yeah. So you be good. And if you can't be good, then it's walkies.